So, dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. So, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Once we get connected with the other network, be ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. And keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. Do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to understand how this meditation can help for us, and at the same time, how we can apply it to our day-to-day life. So the meditation itself means cultivation of our awareness. Awareness is the highest source of our life. How you can cultivate it, get from reducing the greed, hatred, and the delusion. And how the greed, hatred, and the delusion increase in us when we tangle with our own thoughts related to past or the future. So then in the present moment, whatever you experience doesn't have any kind of greed, hatred, or the delusion. So then if you are capable to tune to the present moment, you can get the help out of it. And when you can increase the duration to maintain the present moment, during that time period, in your mind, no chance for greed, hatred, or the delusion. So in that way, slowly you start to purify your awareness. So when you have the clear awareness, what will happen in day-to-day life, when you experience things with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, when you have the perception, you perceive the perception, it becomes more clear, and without any mistake, you can understand and you can recognize things as it is. And then you don't make mistakes. And then out of that, your conventional life become more comfortable, your clarity going to become with you. So, and then by the time you can develop that spiritual path more deeper and your practice to more higher level, which we call the vipassana level, or analytical understanding, rather than seeing things as it is. In that analytical level, you are capable to recognize that the whatever the perception you perceive, how it come to be as it is. That means you are capable to see it from different angles, not with just only self-centered mind. So that understanding will take you to recognize the causation. One thing happened out of many reasons. So when you have that wisdom, you are capable to apply it to your inside and outside. So that is where you're not going to personalize your experience. That's where you become more matured with the things to see in larger scale. And that is where you are capable to understand things without holding or grasping with one reason. And in that level, you are more capable to bring the openness to yourself. So when you have that openness, it itself builds up the flexibility, adaptivity in you to go with the moment by moment, with your own experience. And adaptivity, that openness, will build up inside your creativity. Because creativity doesn't come if you don't have the openness. Creativity doesn't come if you don't go beyond what you experience. Creativity doesn't come if you don't change. So in the Vipassana level, you are capable to bring that all the qualities to your human life and become more productive person and become more creative person. Experience things exactly as it is, and not only that, with the deeper understanding about it, how things come to be as they are. So in that level, your life become more meaningful. And out of that meaningful life, you are capable to bring more profitable skills to yourself and at the same time to others. So that is the process that this meditation can grow inside you and bring different branches to your practice. So you are the one who going to get benefit out of it. So otherwise what will happen? Most of time we are so tangled with our own inner experience. We personalize and we hold it to it, we grasp it, and we become very limited to our own experience. And then you're going to miss the opportunities in front of you. And you're going to miss the chance to experience this human life. And then what will happen? People believe, kind of like people think that we living in the world as humans, but we never come closer to the very nature of the human mind, because the very nature of human mind experiencing awareness. So that's why practicing meditation is kind of like a go back to your true nature, your inner foundation. It's not kind of like a bringing something from outside world and put it to you. You don't need to look something from outside. Only thing is you have to bring some clarity. You have to just allow yourself to settle down. But today, what happened? There are many methods and many teachings around us. And sometimes when it comes to meditation, and we have deeper cravingness for new things, and we go place to place, technique to technique, and practice to practice, we bring more different things. We like to learn new things. But you have to be very careful with the practice when it comes to tranquility meditation and vipassana meditation according to the Buddha's teaching. So as you know, the Mahaprajapati Gautami, the Buddha, the Prince Siddhartha, the stepmother, and she became a nun. And one day she came to Buddha before she leave the temple and go to the forest. And she had a discussion and asked, Venerable Sir, how I can recognize as something profitable, or how I can recognize this belong to the Dhamma or the Buddha's teaching. In that discussion, Buddha gave 8 principles, 8 details, 8 measurements to recognize if it is related to the Buddha's teachings or not. Because as you know, during Buddha's time even, there were many teachings around that. And everybody tried to teach something. It seems like the today. You know, when it comes to meditation, it is a very fancy word. And everybody try to practice meditation. Everybody try to teach meditation. Everybody try to talk about meditation. Everybody like to learn about meditation and many methods. So out of that all, of course, that all teachings has some kind of meaning. But when it comes to the Buddha's teachings, it is very clear the very purpose of these all teachings, get out of the suffering. and the very first level, understanding what is exactly the suffering, because sometimes we misunderstand suffering. People don't know what is exactly suffering. Even though they are suffer, they don't know it is the real suffering. That suffering sometimes, because once we attach to suffering, we can take it as a pleasure. And sometimes when we attach to deeper unsatisfaction, we take it as the satisfaction. That is where it becomes normal. So what is normal means? Normal means whatever the majority people do. So they then just imagine, your neighbor, that the drunken, heavy, drunken man every day come in the evening around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and it start to shout. Maybe, give a hard time to wife and children. Or maybe, that every day you hear around dinner time or 8, 9, 10 during that time period, you always hear the big drama going on. So now it become normal to you. So then by the time what will happen, there is a visitor come to your house. And then this visitor, suddenly hear that, by the, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., the drama start. And then suddenly the visitor, get wonder, and ask, wow, what is that? Why it happened? Why? Oh, it's normal. Don't worry. It's normal. So then we have to be very careful for us. What is normal maybe? For the Dharma, for the nature is not normal. For us, what is normal? It's whatever the things mesmerize our mind. It's going to become normal for us. So then that's why sometimes the deeper suffering, once it becomes normal to you, you will never get out of it. And then sometimes the ignorance become normal to you. Just a kind of like, there are some, people, they always make, the fun out of somebody. Or when they go somewhere, they always tell jokes and try to make people laugh, There's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, and sometimes they tell lies out of that all. They say kind of like improfitable things. Sometimes they talk useless things, and then it become normal to you. So that kind of things become normal. So what will happen? The ignorance going to become normal to you. Then if the ignorance become normal to you, you will never find the wisdom. So then it is your responsibility. Don't allow things to be normal if it is improfitable. So that's why out of the Buddha's teaching, one of the major purpose of this all, give the understanding what is really suffering. Because end of the day, that is matter. Because you are the one who going to have a hard time if you don't understand it. One day it's going to bounce back to you. One day it's going to subattach you. So then it is better you have that clear understanding and just understand the very nature of the life. That's it. Just know, because when you live, just know the nature of life. That wisdom will, not the dogmas, not the ideas, not the believing, just know the very natural, very organic wisdom or the knowledge about life. And then another thing is, in the Buddha's teaching, it teaches what is suffering, and not only that, it exactly teaches us how to get out of it. That is the main purpose of the Buddha's teaching, nothing else. Not giving too much unnecessary details about things. So then, as soon as possible, remember to recognize what is suffering and try to get out of it, and after that, you're free. Because suffering will never catch you. Otherwise, if you lose this opportunity, miss this opportunity, what will happen? It's kind of like you feeding a kind of like a very dangerous poison, king cobra. It's your own thoughts, own mind. So that's why it is very important yourself to know, especially when you learn something, you should know where it's going to take you. Is it going to take you out of the suffering? Is it going to tell you what is suffering? If not, remember, by the time it can bring difficulties to you. So somehow in a very conventional life, we need that ordinary knowledge, but end of the day, you need something more than that. So Buddha's teaching provide that wisdom to you. So then according to that the stepmother question, the Mahaprajapati question, and the Buddha gave some basic principles that how you can understand, is it Buddha's teaching or not? So I hope that this will help you also, because when you engage with practice, when you listen to something, when you read a book, and when you go with people, when you know that practice other spiritual things, if you know this very well, and you can modify it, moderate it, and get the highest benefit out of it. So what is the first thing that the Buddha said? So whatever you practice, if it is related to the Buddha's teaching, it always brings the dispassion. So if any teachings bring some kind of passion, that's mean the self-centered idea to look for the satisfaction. That is where the passion comes. The self-centered idea, look for satisfaction, that is not the Buddha's teaching. So the Buddha's teaching always take you to dispassion. So that means it will take you out of always this self-centered mind, and it will always take you out of looking for desire-based satisfaction. So that is the first thing. So then look in any teachings. It doesn't matter whoever say, oh, this is told by the Buddha, this is this sutra, that sutra. Sometimes so then look, is it that information try to take you out of the passion and take you towards the dispassion? That is related to the Buddha's teaching. And the second one, that the Buddha's teaching always take you to unfettered. These fettered things, that the Buddha's teaching will never take you to any tightness, to any heaviness. It always takes you to release you from your own inner experience. So the third one is, it will never take you to accumulation. it always take you to dispersal, release things. That nowadays, the very famous word it called that the minimalism. So it always take you to dispersal, not to gain, always with the self-centered mind. Oh, I need this, me, kind of like. And the fourth one is, it always take you out of the desire, rather than increasing more desire. So desire means there are healthy desires, unhealthy desires. So the healthy desires mean, as example, when you look for the wisdom, when you look for the truth, when you look for what is profitable, that also kind of like have a desire to go towards that. But here what that it's saying, related to greed, hatred, and the delusion, if you have any desires, when you practice the Dharma, what will happen? It will take you out of that. It minimizes the greed, hatred, and the delusion, and related to that, the desire. And the fifth one is, it's always bring the contentment rather than discontentment. And the sixth one, and it always take you to kind of like be with the people, is seclusion. Seclusion is not to be crowding. That does, but here not to be crowding is doesn't mean you stay alone. Being alone doesn't make any sense. Here what it's saying, that you stay with the people that help you to be more profitable, develop your loving kindness, generosity, compassion, wisdom. So that kind of. It never is, because the crowding, kind of like a, gathering. Sometimes people like to be with people. People like to be in busy place, and with no reason. They addicted to that sound, that crowd, that energy, that busyness. They like it. They want to be there like that. Like some homeless people. Even you give a very nice, comfortable house, they don't want it. Because they have some kind of group, people gathered together. They want to be in that gathering. That is one of the very hardest things that they can't, to take out from the street. Because we have some programs and we work so hardly in this, in Los Angeles, how to get out of them, how to get out of the people from the street and give a house for them. And sometimes we have discussions with them, and when we have very personal discussion, we understand one of the major reasons they like to gather together. So they have a group. They have a kind of like a system that everybody stay together. So they like it. They attach to that. They don't recognize it is unprofitable for them. They feel so comfortable. They have different people, they have different skills, and they share that skills together, and they feel like more connection each other. So then if you give some good, that comfortable environment, they don't want to stay there. They like to be gathering. So then you're very careful with the people, whoever you gather, you associate. Because by the time you're going to pass your time, your life. So then, and according to the Buddha's teaching, the Kalyana Mitra, the very profitable people you need, it's not just being alone and, disconnect from all the people. No, you gain wisdom when you live with the people, but you have to find out right people around you. So don't get into wrong association. It's very hard to get out of it. It's like the prison, gangsters, and sometimes different kind of cult, and the drugs dealers. So those all related to this gathering. If there is no gathering, and the terrorism, if there is no gathering like, each other like that, and they are not going to become so strong like that. So then what the Buddha says, this seclusion, rather than crowding, is you go with the more profitable people. So that is what the Buddha is teaching. You go with the Sangha, more profitable to cultivate your awareness, cultivate your loving kindness, cultivate your compassion, cultivate your wisdom. So otherwise, by this time, what will happen? You're going to get discomfort, unhappiness, sadness, worry. So, and the seventh one, the Buddha's teaching always increased the energy. It never increased the laziness. That laziness is a kind of like a shut down that your awareness, shut down, covered your recognition. Your mind become kind of like a gloomy sky. And always the doubt. But the energy is the light brings that to inside you to see very clearly. So if you have this laziness, what happens? And you slowly start to detach things. And if you have the energy, what will happen? You start to non-attach things. So the detachment bring the resistance, anger, jealousy, frustration, misunderstanding. But the non-attachment bring the awareness, energy, clarity, because non-attachment come out of the wisdom or the recognition. For that, you have to have certain kind of strength in the energy. It is your conscious decision. That decision come out of the wisdom, non-attachment. But the detachment is come out of the resistance, and it make you more lazy. It take you to more sleepy mood. It make you more lethargic. it makes you more unbalanced. So then the Buddha's teachings will never take you to detachment. It always takes you to non-attachment. So the eighth one, it will never take you to any kind of burdensome for yourself and even for the others. Out of your bodily, verbally, mentally actions, you will never going to be worried and anyone not going to be worried. And it always develop the unburdensome. No one going to get unhappy out of your bodily, verbally, mentally actions. And no one going to get hurt. It always leads you to deeper connection. So those are the 8 principles that you can use, pillars, measurements that you can use in any time, in anywhere for any teachings to understand. Is it related to the Buddha's teachings or the pure Dharma or authentic Dharma or not? Because nowadays there are people build up many ideas related to the Dharma or the related to meditation. So then remember, know yourself, be very clear, be very sharp within yourself, and when you practice something, see, and can you see that information within what you practice? Can you see the benefit that you gain out of that, whatever you practice? And see how it look like. And if you see any mistake, correct it. And when you're going to correct it, there are many ways. But sometimes you have to see, are you misunderstand it? Are you practice it very well? Or maybe the teachings is not right. So like that, play with it and look it from different angle. Don't afraid to question or the look, investigate out of what you practice. That is one of the major principles when it comes to the Buddha's teaching. Don't afraid to question. Examine it, investigate it like a goldsmith, like a gem cutter. You know, when he found a gem and a very new one, when he get it out of the mud, you know, he examine it in different ways. That when you take, you know, kind of like a very rusty old jewelries to the, you know, goldsmith, he may try to find it is real gold or not in many ways, you know, rubbing it, brushing it, burning it, you know, washing it. And it all the skills to recognize what is this. So same like whatever you practice, use your analytical mind to recognize what this is and how it affects for you, what you gain out of this. Don't try to do it for outside thing. That whatever you practice, use it for that. Use it to your personal development. And that way you recognize you are the one who is going to become more and more sharp and clear day by day out of your practice, not the other people. You can't, you know, brush up other people. Only thing you can give some tools And you can help for them. And the best thing is you can be the example. And then they will follow you. And otherwise, who we are to change other people? We can't. Why? Because each and everybody come to this world with their own way of life. When the day comes for them to look what is Dharma, what is truth, what is profitable, then they will find the path. So then the very first thing yourself, start to look into you and see what you practice. Don't waste your time. And go deeper and deeper and deeper within yourself. Look it from different angles. Question it. And bring the change to yourself as soon as possible. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left hand, neck, head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Sopateva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddha masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalation happen as it is. Recognize it through the sensation, do nothing extra. Okay, so can you hear me? Because